Okay guys, so we're back in the garage today and I'm really excited for this one because we get to show you our new 1960 Corvair 700 4-door. Now, we weren't really in the market for another Corvair. This would be our fourth, but when we saw this pop up in our local market and once my wife saw it, it was game over. We were pretty much going to bring it home. So it is an absolute time capsule and I'm really excited to show you guys around. This is what I would consider a true survivor car. It's all original. It's got the original paint and the original interior and the original engine, and it's absolutely just an untouched, perfect example of how awesome cars were in 1960. Now, this being the first year of the production for the Corvairs, there are some things that are unique to this car as opposed to all of the years that followed through 1969. And I can't wait to show you around and show you those things. So now it seems like about 30 some years ago when my wife and I started dating, one of the first nicknames that I gave her was Josie. I used to call her Josie, short for Josephine. And so this being my wife's car, this is what she has elected to name the car, is Old Josie. So going forward, that's what we'll refer to it as. So anyway, I want to give you guys just a quick tour, a little bumper to bumper, inside and out, kind of look at this thing and show you how awesome it is and kind of what we're up against as far as it being a project car and kind of some of the things that need to be done to it. So can't wait to show you around. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I think first thing we want to do here is take a quick look at the outside of this thing. It's so cool. The color, I believe, is called Tasco Turquoise. It is the stock original color from factory 1960. I think it's shared with other models of Chevys. I'm not for sure on that, but I think that I've seen other Chevys with the same color. It's got the original hubcaps, and the beauty rings actually have bow ties in them. So I haven't wiped this car. I haven't cleaned it. I haven't dusted it. I haven't done anything to it. We just got it. So this is all as it was brought to me, and it will all clean up and become much nicer looking. But this is what it looks like when we brought it home. So the body lines are absolutely beautiful. There are just a few little whoops and dings here and there, but for 1960 and for being all original, I will take it. I'm super happy with all that. The glass is in wonderful shape. The top with this awesome white two-tone is in just absolutely incredible shape. This was obviously stored inside a garage or a shop for its whole life. There's no way it looks like this and has held up this well for this many years if it was stored outside. From the best I can tell from the paperwork, this thing has been off the road since about 1999, and it was definitely kept inside. So moving on along down here, if you look underneath, and you probably can't see it too well, but down below the rockers, there is literally no rust anywhere. There's no rust holes. It's just absolutely perfect. It just needs cleaned and kind of paint corrected a little bit. So it's just a true survivor in that way. In a later video, I'll get it up on the quick jacks and get underneath and show you guys what it looks like, but there's just no rust underneath. It just looks absolutely perfect. So the doors are wonderful. The body lines look great on those. The doors open and close just absolutely beautifully. The back window wraps around. Now the 60 or the 4-doors, the early 4-doors have this awesome overhang in the back window, which just looks so neat. It just gives it such a cool body line. It's one of the reasons I love them. Also, these 4-doors kind of have a lower rear fender that tucks over the back wheel, kind of giving it a little bit of a gangster look, as opposed to the 2-doors that don't have that. You can kind of see on one of my 2-doors here, the early, the back wheel well doesn't cup over the tire like it does on this one, and it just makes it look like it's kind of low ride and gangster, which is really cool. So coming around the back, I got all of the original taillights and they all look good. The chrome is dusty, but it's there and it looks really nice. The deck lid is in great shape. A little paint correction on this will take this amazing. These hubcaps are all original. They'll shine up really nicely. I can take some ultra fine steel wool to those and buff those up. This side of the car, the same thing. The rockers are all clean. The chrome trim has a little bit dings here and there in it. That doesn't really bother me too bad. I could replace them, but again, it speaks to the originality of it. It's lived life, and I can't remember what the odometer says. I think it's something about 70,000 miles. original, which I believe based on all of the conditions of the inside and outside. So looking really nice. Now this hood also in great shape. I think the 1960 is the only model that I'm aware of that the front end kind of coves in. My other earlies, they cove out to a point, so it kind of has a unique look to it. The headlights are there. I've got all 4 matching original headlights, and the hood itself has a different line than the other years. I think this is a 1 year only. There's no like reliefs and ridges in this. It's all just kind of flat. Looks kind of like a Simpsons kind of cartoon car. So that's pretty cool. And the front end is just as good as all the rest of it. So anyway, that is the outside of this beautiful time capsule 1960. I think next we'll take a look at the interior. Okay, so moving inside the front driver's compartment, you can see this thing. The door panel, this is the original door panel. It's got a little bit of wear on the pad, but that's just from use. This is the original colors. You can see the door itself is just, there is just no imperfections or rust. Door sills look really nice. It's got original carpet in it. The seats will need reupholstered. Both of them are the originals, and they are torn up and worn out a little bit, but that's going to be expected for this many years. It wasn't that high end of a trim of seat covers anyway, but it's got this cool bench seat. My other Corvairs have all have bucket seats. They don't have the bench, so that's really fun. Now, looking in here, this is just a really cool, clean dashboard. Absolutely great. If I can see 73,000 miles. I do believe that's original, based on the pedals and the carpet, the exterior. It's all just great. I've got a metal dashboard. The other ones I have are all covered in rubber or vinyl, so that's kind of cool. Won't crack out on me and whatnot. So the shift lever is here. Original stereo, very old original stereo. The glove box is in really good shape. Let's see if it opens up. I tried this. If I can do this with one hand. I'll put you down for a sec. There we go. Okay, yeah, so glove box says 700 on it, which is really cool. And it's all in good shape and empty and ready to be used. Other door card is also original and looks great. I have to work on that latch. The headliner is here, and it's like 90-95% here. It's a couple of little holes where people grabbed the visors and stuff, and it's kind of yellowed and it looks a little brittle. I'll probably, once I get the car up and running and roadworthy, I'll probably work on replacing that. But that really is the only thing in here. That and the seat covers are really all that really needs to happen in here. So let me hop into the back. All the windows go up and down as well. They're just absolutely perfect. Windows go up and down great. This back seat is interesting. It actually has plastic on it from the factory. And the back is great, except it looks like possibly maybe some mice or something got into the corner of this right here when it was off the road and sitting. So that's really cool though. And I've got kind of a storage area back here, which is kind of different because of it being a 4-door. And what's even cooler is this trim level has this back seat that folds down and gives you this really cool cargo area in here. All of this is a really nice storage area where you could put suitcases or your lunch or, you know, your dog or whatever you need to put back here. But that's really looks nice. And then it folds back up and gives you your 4-door. So that, in a nutshell, guys, is the interior of this beauty. Okay, so moving along to the front trunk area, this is really, really cool. Not only are all the door seals still feel new and supple, but this trunk cushion is also very, very nice. So what I can do here, unlike my other Corvairs where you kind of have to turn the key and kind of have to wiggle the hood and kind of have to work it out because it's old, this thing just opens up like butter. Push this over. This thing opens up silently and beautifully. I don't know if you can see this, but this trim, rubber trim here is factory. It is still super soft and really, really nice for 1960. Now, there is some cool stuff going on in here. I believe this is the only year that they put the spare tire in the front. They went to a bigger gas tank after this year, I believe, so they ended up putting the spare tire in the trunk. So this has a couple gallons smaller gas tank, but it gave you room for the spare tire in the front. And I think most guys put their spare tires up front anyway, so this works out great because it's got a mount here and everything, so it's made for it. I've got the washer box, the washer wiper, and this is like the crown jewel here. This is a gas heater and has its own combustion fan and everything. This I have been looking really, really forward to. Now, I've had the pleasure of and the opportunity to work on a couple of these gas heaters out of a car, and so I kind of get how they work, but this is my first one to own, and man, am I excited about this. If you guys aren't aware, this runs off gas from the fuel tank, and it's basically like a garage heater, like a propane heater for your garage in the car. It's instant heat, and it's just like turning on a propane heater, like, and you just have an open flame combustion chamber that blasts furnace air basically into the cab of the car. So have you guys used these? Any of you guys out there who grew up with one of these cars, who've had experience with this, did you guys use them? Did you like them? Did you feel safe with them? Did they cause you trouble? What do you got going on? Hit me up in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories about this gas heater, because this is probably, to me, the coolest part of this car, and I'm really excited to get in and use that. Also, the painting here is just amazing. Once it's dusty, it's going to shine up so nicely. But I've got the original matte in here as well, and it's just perfect underneath as well. So that's really nice. So this trunk compartment is just absolutely beautiful. It just, again, speaks to the quality of the whoever took care of it, how they took care of it, and how it was stored. So really, really fortunate. It also, in the trunk lid, has the factory insulation, which you just don't see anymore. It's really, really nice. It's like a hard rubberized hard foam insulation. I even have a factory jacking instructions manual glued up to the insulation, so that's pretty cool. Now, as I was saying, the trunk seal is really nice. When you close this trunk, it feels like a brand new car. It shuts silently and beautifully. The body lines are perfect. It's just so nice. I'm just so tickled at how nice this car is, and how that we were able to get it, and I'm going to make it really, really nice and really enjoy it for years to come. So that is the front trunk. Okay, so the last part of this body here would be what's inside of the engine compartment. So let's pop this guy open. And as you can see, we have no motor, no trans. Now, this worked out really well for me, because if you guys follow along with my channel or with what I do around here, I was probably going to yank this motor and trans out anyway, clean it up, reseal everything, and get it all roadworthy and good to go. But we'll go over the motor. I do have the motor and the trans. It all came with it. The story that I got was that the guy who owned it before the guy I bought it from had taken the motor and trans out because he had planned on converting the car to electric. So that's cool. That would have been a fun project. But then I guess he decided it was going to be too costly and too much of a hassle, and he just kind of stopped. And then the car has just sat for like 25 years since then. So that's how I got it, and I got a pretty good deal on the car because it didn't have the engine and trans. I didn't get a chance to confirm if the engine works. It could be locked up. I don't know. It seems like it's all there, but doesn't bother me a bit that there's no engine installed. That it came with it is good, and like I said, I was probably going to pull it out anyway. So that is the engine bay, and let's just come right over here and show you what we got going on here. This is the engine that came with it. There are no serial numbers, matching numbers for this age, but it is the factory correct year for this car. It is a Z code engine, which is 80 to 84 horse motor, which would be what came with this car. So I have no reason to believe this isn't the original motor. It's super dirty, super unkept. It was stored inside, which is great, and it had, when I got it, it had covers over the carbs and stuff, and it looked like someone cared when they put it up for storage, but it has just sat in storage for many years. So there are some really cool things about this year of car that are, I think, only this year, like this crazy big air cleaner assembly. But all the other years of Corvairs have a choke assembly on each of the carburetors, and a choke rod that goes down into the head with a bimetal coil that tells it when to open and close. These don't have that. Neither of them has a choke, because the choke is built in to the air intake right here. There's a valve right here, a butterfly valve right here, that controls the choke, and it is controlled by this metering gauge over here that's adjustable, and it's told to heat up and cool down by this insulated wrapped tube that comes up from the motor and tells it when the engine's hot, and it opens up the choke. Super cool. In addition to that, the air management system for keeping to help the engine warm up better is controlled by this baffle ring that only allows so much air to get in to the engine to cool it when it's first starting up, and then as the engine heats up, a bimetal coil opens up and lifts this ring up, allowing more air in to cool the engine. So that's all, I believe, 1960 only, which is really neat. Super cool engineering. It's interesting to see where they went from here and how they started here with the first year. So anyway, that is the engine that came with it, and I'm going to tear it all down. I'm going to clean up all the tins. I'm going to seal up all of the push rod tubes and the front and rear main seals, the top and bottom covers, like I normally would with any of my other Corvairs. And we'll get this thing roadworthy and put back in and get her moving on down the road. So that is the engine. Okay, so another really cool thing that I got with this car was all the stuff that came with the car. Now, since the engine was torn out and the transmission was out, there was all the stuff that was needed to be taken apart. To do that, I still have, which came with the car. So that's really cool. I got a couple fan belts, transmission mount, linkages, tins. I got a couple of fuel pumps. I'm not holding my breath. I'll give them a shot. I'm not holding my breath that they're going to work. I have not had good luck with stock fuel pumps. I know that some people do, or maybe you have a good one. I've had nothing but bad luck with them. I've converted all 3 of my other Corvairs to electric fuel pumps, and I plan to do the same here. But if one of those guys works, yeah, I'll run it. I'd prefer to run a manual or original mechanical pump if I can. Just haven't had good luck with them. So I have some rubber pieces. I've got an oil filter. It looks like somebody was getting ready to put on these. They're pretty small. They look like maybe front brakes or rear brakes. Looks like someone was getting ready to do a brake job in any case. So we'll see if those fit and if they're good. I don't know anything about the condition of the brakes currently, so that's just another journey to go down. I had a flex plate and a torque converter and belt housing, the starter, the generator, all the bolts and nuts and hardware that was needed to pull the motor and trans out. So I've got all that stuff. Really cool that someone saved it all. And this was all in the front trunk when I got the car, so I was really happy to see all that stuff. In addition to that, got a couple other really cool things. I got these pretty cool Ralph Hu license plate rings. So as a nod, I believe, to, I'm sure, Ralph Nader. So that's kind of cool. It came with a 1960 owner's guide. I don't believe this was original to the car because the first page has a $5 sticker. So probably came from a swap meet or a garage sale. But in any case, I'm really glad to have it because it's for the 1960 that I have, and that's great. Also, it came with this mildly delaminated but almost unused 1960 shop manual. And I've got shop manuals for almost every other year, but I did not have a 1960, so I'm really happy to have that. because the 1960 does have quite a bit of things that are unique to it. So kind of back in history, it did come with a 1999 Clark's Corvair ordering manual and catalog. Now this is before the internet was widely available and before 2000. So they probably in 99 didn't have a web page to order stuff. So this was literally how you ordered stuff. So that's kind of cool. Also came with this, I'm not sure why, but this cardboard with cellophane has this interesting article about the Corvair and its history. So that was kind of a neat little time capsule. And then finally, I've got in 1999 there was tires put on at Les Schwab. I've got about $900 worth of receipts where it looks like somebody at a shop fully rebuilt the transmission and the transaxle. So that's pretty cool because you know, that means that might be one less thing I need to service. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then I've got registration tags dating back to 1977 from, I believe it is, Elk Grove, California. So it was a California car to begin with, I believe, and then it kind of went through Oregon, and then it landed in Idaho where I am. So really cool stuff to have, a history that came with the car, the engine that came with the car, all the cool stuff that came with the car, and then the really cool car. So that is everything that came with my 1960 Corvair. Okay guys, so that is our new toy, and it's been a lot of fun bringing you guys along and showing you around. I can't wait to dig into this thing and get it cleaned up and go through it, get the engine all torn apart and get it sealed up and put back together again and prettied up, get it back in the car, and then get this thing back on the road for the first time in probably 25 years. So if you guys are interested in following along through that process, keep an eye out for the videos, and we'll get her done together. So please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.